welcome to the program. This is Political Sanity. I'm your host. This is episode 31, believe it or not, and I appreciate a lot of you hanging out and doing what you can to support me in my crazy dream of doing this. It's been a while. It's been like 3 weeks. I know I keep saying, "Ooh, I'm going to do one every week. I'm going to do one every week. I want to do one every day." I'm not going to do one every week. I try, and it's just like by the end of the week, I'm like so tired that I just don't want to do it because, work's busy, especially with the weather going on here. We got some weird things going on, like, well, how do I put this delicately? We're getting all the rain that we were supposed to get in April now. So, kind of sucks. We're dealing with some, we had like a tornado touchdown in our area yesterday. I think there were a bunch of them that hit around the area. So, and I'm not really looking forward to that happening tonight. So, but if this is the last episode I ever do, I want you guys to know that I truly could have applied myself a little more. So, but, let's get into it. A lot has happened. I've had a lot of conversations with, a certain, not a certain coworker. I had a conversation with a coworker of mine today. Normally we talk about politics, whatever else we talk about. But he asked me, if I think that in lieu of all this game of cat and mouse, if the Epstein files are going to be released. And I've had some time to think about this. We've spoken about it before on former episodes. And I don't know if I've been as cynical as I am now. I feel like I'm, some people may call it cynical. I've been dragged through the comments of a couple of videos I've made about the Epstein list. I don't think we're ever going to get it. I really don't. Especially in lieu of all the new information that's come out about him. It's not looking good. It's really not looking good. And I guess in a way, part of me is upset, but that's the very back of my mind. The front of my mind, the front of my brain, I'm like, who cares? I don't think we're ever going to get it because if the names that we think are on that list are actually on that list, like, it's going to be damaging for a lot of people. And I'm not making excuses for them. I'm not saying, their reputations will be ruined. Like, I could care less about their reputation. I don't care about their reputation. I don't care about them. It doesn't matter to me. I would love for this to come to light. I would love for this to be seen. I would love for this list to be out there for everyone to know. Unfortunately, everything that we have right now is public. Everything that the Trump administration has released so far, it has been public for years and years. Flight logs, yeah, we know who's on those. Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Naomi Campbell, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, obviously, Alan Dershowitz, all those names, we know those names already. However, I feel like that was just like a little taste of what, I don't know, it was crazy because I've spoken about this before. The thing, when they did that stunt where they released the first phase of names that were on the flight logs, and they gave them to influencers on the right side, like big name influence, like DC Drano, Libs of TikTok, those kinds of people. It was kind of like a slap in the face a little bit, more like a spit in the face. It was just crazy to see where we are as a society, where people who really don't have any pull anywhere besides social media are getting this information first. You would think it would be given to people who have the power to do something about it instead of just informing their platform like, oh, look who's on the list. All my millions of followers see this. And I know this sounds like I'm being jealous, like I'm being a bitch about it, but it's not. That's not it. That's really not it. It's more like a what the hell are you doing type of thing. Why are you giving it to these people who can't do a damn thing about it? They're never going to do anything about it, and they just waved it in front of our faces, and we're just it turned a lot of people away from Trump. It didn't turn them away from him, but it definitely forced them to look into it and be like, you know what? I don't think we're ever going to get this. If this is how this is going to go, it's not going to be a good one. It's not going to be a good situation. But, that being said, I've been interested in this list for a very, very, a very long time. Not since 2020. Probably about. I mean, I always knew about Jeffrey Epstein. I'd heard of him, especially after his death or his suicide or whatever you want to call it. But I started to dive headfirst into it, and then it started to lead me down different rabbit holes, like Pizzagate or underground bases, adrenochrome, all that stuff, and it really affected me, mental health wise. It really affected me. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a strong individual. Maybe I'm not able to handle that kind of information, but it was all I thought about all the time. And, pardon me, since Trump has been campaigning, and they're saying, well, the whole Epstein list, that's going to be declassified. That'll be open to the public. But then it doesn't happen. That's a little bit of a weird thing. And I'm not saying that I voted for Trump based on those promises, because I didn't. That's just a little perk that would have come with it, but it hasn't come out. Obviously, Ghislaine Maxwell being locked up, it's a different thing. But it makes you wonder, if there's no list, why is she there? If what they're saying is true, then why is she still in prison? Well, there is information out there. I watched this documentary on Netflix. I think a couple weeks ago, it was probably 2 weeks ago. I watched this. It's called Filthy Rich. It's on Netflix. I would definitely look into it. I think it's a mini series. There's different stories they go over. Epstein is one of them, and they talk to all the victims who, well, not even the ones that are still alive, because one of them has passed away. Virginia Giuffre, she's gone. She was one of the ones. She worked at Mar-a-Lago as a waitress or a server, and she was like 15 or 16. Don't quote me on that. She was young. She was a teenager. And she had a book on massage therapy. I'm not trying to give it away, but she had a book on massage therapy. Maxwell approached her and said, "Hey, I see that you have a massage therapy book. I see, what are your goals with that?" She said, well, she wanted to be a masseuse. Virginia said that. And then, so that's where Maxwell said, well, I have someone who wants a traveling masseuse. Come by this address after you're done and do an interview. And then that turned into a whole thing where she was molested for years and years, and, treated in a weird little family, as she put it. And it was Maxwell, Epstein, her. And, and then that eventually led to Prince Andrew, and where she was essentially paid off eventually. And now she's gone. She's no longer with us, rest in peace. But they go over a lot of the, the first charges that happened the first time, where he lived, who he hung around with, Epstein, and who he, who he victimized, basically, and who he exposed himself to, or, whatever it was that he called it. It's 3-4 episodes, I believe. It's good. It's really good. It's very informative. It interviews the victims, police officers that were interested in this case. And it goes over, it even goes as far as to interview, his Epstein's attorneys that got him off the first time. no pun intended. But I think when I watched it and they interviewed Alan Dershowitz, I was just like punching the air. I was so mad at the fact like that he was able to get off so easily with like a solicitation for soliciting minors for prostitution in the second degree, and then them essentially letting him off, and him being able to threaten the victims and their families and saying, if you tell anyone I own this city, I know the Miami Beach Police Department, I know all these people, and I'm never never going down, essentially, is what he said. And they dive deeper into a little bit of like his interviews, his general interview, or his deposition, not an interview. That's just glorifying it. But I think they did a really good job of portraying like what he did and how he was able to get away with it. However, what they're not going into is there's new information that's come to light where, if you look at Ghislaine Maxwell and who her father was, Robert Maxwell, he was, part of MI6. I don't know if it was FBI or CIA, but he was also, it was one of those two. And then he was, for sure, MI6. Who else was he? Mossad. He was a triple agent, essentially, of Mossad, and CIA or FBI, and then for sure MI6. So Triple Agent International did some really heinous things, I'm sure, as agents do. And, that was passed down to, I don't know if it was really passed down to his daughter, but she inherits all this money when he passes away. And then, she links up with Epstein, and all signs are pointing to the fact that he was probably intelligence. And that's why he was able to get off so easily with paying a fine in that first charge that he got. But a good point that was brought up, and I heard this recently, was if he was intelligence and he did all this heinous shit, like he must have done something pretty bad for them to be like, you know what? We got to off this guy. Like, we got to take care of him. He's too much of a fucking liability. He knows too many people. He's running a blackmail, money laundering operation. Like, we can't have him doing this. So then but as Kash Patel says, it was a suicide, and they have camera footage, even though the cameras weren't working, I thought. I don't know. It's a tough thing. It's really tough. And now there's talks of, Trump he never said he would pardon Maxwell, but he does have the power to do that. I don't think he would. I'm not going to put my faith too much in politicians, because a lot of the things that have been going on so far, like Republicans blocking the release of the files, Democrats on the other side releasing the files, it proves to me that in all areas of government and elite groups, that there's a lot of names on this list that they don't want to get it out. And the thing is, money can buy anything. It can even buy silence. And that's one of the things that's really frustrating. And it's hard to come to terms with, but instead of obsessing over it, well, even though I've already done 15 minutes on it almost, and I'm going to continue to do more on it, it's hard to not obsess over this. It's hard to not lose faith in the current administration. But if his hands are tied, if Trump's hands are tied and he can't do anything about it, and then there's speculation that this is backtracking. There's speculation on TikTok and Instagram and anywhere that's social media. They're saying, well, Trump was on the files. He's on there. That's why they're not releasing it. Even Elon Musk came out and said it, but then he publicly apologized, and now he's back on that fucking bandwagon again, where he's trashing Trump because he's pissed off. Whatever. If Trump's name was on that list, and this is just me being optimistic. Is that the word? Yeah, this is just me being an optimist here. If his name was on that list, they probably would have released it last administration. I would assume, because why would you want someone like that running for president? even though Bill Clinton had been there 26 times, and that's a lot. But everyone's got an answer for something, and the thing is, if you even it's crazy. This is so stupid. It's dumb that I'm segueing into this, but I made a video recently where it was something stupid like when this is my impression of a liberal when you disagree with them about something, and then I did a punchline and it did okay, but people got so butthurt in the comments that they're like, okay, now do Trump, now do this when this is Trump did this with this many underage girls, blah blah blah. He's a rapist, he's a felon, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, understand that what I said was a joke, and that's all it is. I'm not. Yes, I'm poking fun at the liberals. Of course, I'm going to. I could poke fun at the conservatives if I wanted to. Here's one thing that I don't like about conservatives. It's not even just conservatives. It's like stark MAGA. They all stick together. They're kind of cringy. They act as if they're patriots, even though none of them have probably ever served in combat. Don't at me. But I just don't see. I'm not going to wear that on my head. Yes, I voted for the guy. Yeah, I voted for him. A lot of people voted for this guy. I think that at the time, and I still believe this, he was the best person to do the job. I don't think Harris was capable whatsoever. And I'll say that over and over again because I truly believe that. But when you're a stark supporter and you look at Trump like he's the savior of everything, it's like, I'm sorry, but I can't go for that. Because at the end of the day, he's still a politician. That's it. And I'll never, I honestly, I can't trust a politician. I can't. Because they're human and they make mistakes. They take bribes. They do whatever. They do whatever they can to get ahead in this business. And it just doesn't matter whose backs they're walking on or who they're screwing over. And unfortunately, that's the American citizens. But how did I get to that? Oh, yes. I don't think that he's on the list, personally. That's my opinion. You can disagree if you want to. He could be on the list and we just don't know it. I mean, but the thing is, if he is, like, is never going to get released. I mean, I know he still said it recently that he wasn't, he cut ties off with them a long time ago. But, yeah, it's just a feeling, my initial feeling is right before they were going to release these files, Netanyahu from Israel came over and had a meeting with Trump, and then all of a sudden it's on to the floods, and it's on to him asking reporters asking him, like, what do you think about the Epstein file? Are they ever going to be released? And he just turns to him, Trump just turns to him and he goes, can we just forget about this? People are dying. It's like, no, we can't forget about this because you need to answer this question. Are you going to release them or not? And if you're not, give us a reason why. And if you can't give us a reason why, then people are going to be making assumptions that you're either on the list or a higher group is involved, and they are swaying it either whichever direction just to prevent that just to make sure that this doesn't get out. And but again, like I said earlier, I don't think that this list is going to affect me. I don't think it's going to affect you. Because at the end of the day, you're still going to have to go to work. You're still going to have to pay your bills. You're still going to have to put gas in your car. You're still going to have to do all this extra adult shit that we don't want to do, but we have to anyway. Knowing these names on this list would be a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely agree. I would love to see these names. However, I'm going to make my own assumptions. I'm going to assume Tom Hanks is on the list. I'm going to assume Anthony Kiedis is on the list. I'm going to assume all these people are on the list. Bill Gates, Stephen Hawking, yeah. I'm going to assume these people are on the list because why wouldn't they be? If he was really blackmailing people like this, why wouldn't these people be on the list? Well, like, really, why wouldn't they? Naomi Campbell, why wouldn't she be on the list? She is on the list. But it makes me wonder. It's like, I don't think this is going to affect me. I'm not going to get an extra raise at work, because of this being released and making the rounds. And I've just gotten into so many conspiracies, and I'm not saying this is a real thing. Like this is a real list, and it's somewhere right now, and people don't want it to get out for some reason because it's very damaging. I mean, look at it. Think about the type of respect that you have for a person who is a pedophile, right? Think about the respect that you have for that kind of a person. It's probably zero, okay? I'm right there with you. It is absolutely 100% zero. That is the sickest thing you could possibly do to anyone, especially a minor. Like, don't. Oh, my gosh. I just hate it so much. It just makes my blood fucking boil, dude. Like, just to know that there are kids out there that are going through this kind of shit. And it's not just elites. It's literally fucking. It's everywhere. And to hear that they're going to make that a sexual orientation, that you're a minor attracted person. I'm sorry, we call those chomos where I'm from. Those are child molesters. And everyone will call them that. But I just see, it's so funny to me. The same people who are saying online, this is going to be the next sexual orientation, are the same ones who are saying, release the list right now. And the only reason they're saying that is because they think Trump's on it. And maybe he is. Maybe he is on the list. I don't know. The fuck do I know? I know as much as you guys know. That's not a whole lot. And I don't think we're going to get more. Maybe we will. I'm not going to hold my breath, though, because this isn't going to affect me. It's not going to affect you. It's not going to affect your kids. It's not going to affect your dog. And then people come and attack me for saying that kind of stuff. They go, well, what if this was your daughter? Those are big what ifs, okay? I watch my kids like a fucking hawk, and I make sure they are never around someone that I don't know and I don't trust. That's the difference. They always want to throw out this, what if it was your kid? You know what? It's not. And I'll make damn sure it never will be, okay? I just don't, I don't understand. They think I'm just being apathetic and I just don't care. It's like, no, I do care that this list is released. I care. But for my own mental health, I have to step away. I've done 20 minutes on this now. For my own mental health, I have to step away from this. Am I going to check in on it every now and then? Of course I will. Am I going to obsess over it every single day? No. I'm going to do this one topic, and that's it. That'll be it. It's no... I hope it's released. I do. I really do hope it's released. I do. But while saying that, I also want to be logical. And it's probably not going to be. It's probably not going to be in our lifetime. And that's a pretty shitty thing to come to terms with. I mean, the things that this guy did, and the things that his girlfriend and he did together to these women, paying him $200 per massage, 14-year-old girls, made him strip and give him massages to completion, essentially. There's no words, there are no words to describe that. There are no words to, and then offering the girls who went there first to recruit their friends to come and do it. And then they would get that $200. The girls who recruited would get the $200 and they would leave. That was it. And that's how the story pretty much went. Like, that was how it went. But I think eventually those girls were charged too. And now they're grown women. They're in their 30s. 40s probably, if we're being realistic here. But it goes way deeper than any of us could ever comprehend. And it just makes you wonder, why. I don't wonder why he got off. I have a feeling he was part of the intelligence team. And he was an asset. And he learned the ropes from Maxwell, and that's it. That's what it was. But I don't know. You see a lot of this stuff starting to resurface again on, social media, primarily on TikTok. That place is run by fucking liberals now, and It's run by people it's not even just liberals. It's people on the left who they disguise their shitty behavior as, oh, I have empathy and you're such a bad person. It's like, you know what, this know-it-all cunty vibe that you guys have on the left here is, I went to school for 4 years and I have this degree. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. No one cares, okay? What the hell is that going to do for you? Are you going to be able to work a regular job? I doubt you even have one. I'm not going to be talked to this way. I'm leaving. Like, dude, go. No one cares. No one cares. We're all trying to do the same thing. We're trying to live our lives and we're trying to get through everything. But with TikTok, it's like the ones who are super liberal or super on the left, they go viral all the time. They have like the biggest following, which is fine with me. But it's like when you start spreading misinformation, or they're arresting citizens, or they're doing all this stuff that is, they're getting rid of people and people are dying in the streets, and oh my gosh, what's happening in America? I'm losing my rights. It's like, what rights are you actually losing? You're on your Chinese-made phone saying whatever the fuck you want about everyone that doesn't agree with you. And you're going to tell me that you're losing your rights? Get fucked, okay? That's so stupid. It's so dumb. If you go through your life doing nothing but complaining about blatant disregard for your existence, like, dude. Some people just need to get jobs and figure it out. But people argue. They argue over abortion. They argue over empathy. They argue over how the one that I saw, what's her name? Kylie Brewer. Look her up if you get a chance. She was on the Red Pill podcast, or whatever podcast it's called, I think. And she went and debated Andrew Wilson. I don't really care for Andrew Wilson. I don't know who he is. I've seen a couple clips of him. I don't particularly like or dislike the guy. But she got trashed in that debate, and she ended up leaving early because he was debating her, and she was losing, and so she left. Regardless of how you feel about Andrew Wilson, I mean, when you say that when you tell someone during the middle of the debate, excuse me, I'm speaking, does that sound familiar to you? When you tell someone, excuse me, I'm speaking, I will not be talked to this way. I went to school for 4 years for this. I am leaving. Goodbye. You know, like if you start acting like that, or if you start doing like this Chris Valenti shit where you're like, oh, MAGA supporters are so beneath me. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? You're going to try to say that you're morally superior, or you're superior in general over someone because of the way that they vote, and you're going to openly call them racist because they want to get illegal aliens out of our country that hop the border and shouldn't be here. I don't care if they're breaking the law. Guess what they did? They came here illegally. They already broke the law when they got here. Oh, what about the children? Well, they can all be deported together. I don't care. I don't care. I would much rather the kids be deported with the parents than have them be separated and stay here. Because, and before you come at me with that, I'm saying that because I don't want a family to be separated. The foster system does that enough here, and it's not a good look. It's not a good outcome. It causes a lot of damage for these kids. I think if they need to be deported, just do it together. Oh, it's late. Shit, I'm getting tired. But it makes me wonder, like, the extension on TikTok, like the ban that they were going to throw down, the extension that Trump put on this app, this platform. It's a Chinese-run company. I still haven't found a buyer for it yet. I think they should. Someone local who's not going to. But the thing is, TikTok's different everywhere. TikTok in America is completely different from TikTok in China. You know, you see, theirs is like math and like fucking a little bit of leisure time. Ours is all dances and fat people telling you what they ate all day, or people chewing and smacking their lips loudly, or stupid political, you know, bullshit, people fighting left and right, all that shit. Or guys making piss birthday cakes because he has a piss room, whatever the fuck it, you know, that's a real, that one's concerning to me. But you see these things, and you're like, anyone can have a phone. Anyone can have a phone. And they either go viral or they don't. Or they make videos for their own amusement or they don't. It doesn't matter. Do what you want. But you look at the stark differences between our society and a different country's society. Yes, we have freedom to do and say whatever we want. However, some people should just shut up sometimes. And some people just shouldn't do anything, I think, personally. But again, it's a way to express themselves. It's First Amendment. I don't care. Say what you want. I don't care. But the thing is, your actions are going to have consequences. If you're a cunty know-it-all and you say that you're better than everyone because of your credentials and how much money you make, or I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that based on how much money they make. I think it's more like, I went to school for this long. I have an education. You guys are uneducated because you voted for Trump. You're a fucking idiot. I got told that I lived in a trailer park the other day. I was told that I need to go see a dentist. I was told that I need to go try and run a mile. And these are all very funny to me. To me. Because it's like, as soon as you start throwing personal attacks at me for making a joke about liberals, and you're that offended that you are going to lose the argument, and you're going to say, you need to go see a dentist. You're fat. You're ugly. You stink. You know, don't get me wrong. Before, when I first started making videos, it did hurt a little bit, but I know what I look like. I don't care. I look okay. I'm married. I only have to please one woman. And I'm all right with that. Or my favorite is, oh, your hairline is receding. It's like, yeah, dude, you ever heard of genetics? Of course my hairline is receding. What the fuck? What do you think I am? Am I supposed to be like a Calvin Klein model? No, I wouldn't want to be. It just seems like a stressful lifestyle. I know I could lose some weight to be healthier, of course. But I work blue collar, so it's like, that's probably going to keep me young for the rest of my life. Or at least until I retire, for sure. Where was I going with that? There is a blatant hate for conservatives. And let me back that up. Because I don't want to be like, oh, I'm so right. No. There's a blatant hate for conservatives, but there's also a blatant hate for liberals, too. It's just fewer on that side hating liberals. I've seen some things that have been said on my videos primarily, like, Hulk Hogan passed away, and when Ozzy passed away, they're trying to cancel these two guys. It's silly. It's nonsense. I made a video stating that Hulk Hogan said the N-word and he deserves to be canceled, blah, blah, blah. It was all satire. It was all a joke. Well, then people took that as, I think it's okay to say the N-word. Or they took it as, what did they say? It's not important. It's just some bullshit, but, oh yeah, one girl had said that I should put the fries in the bag instead of eating them. Well played. That was a good one. But then someone chimed in on the right side and they said, isn't ICE looking for you? It's like, dude, that's fucking so racist. I'm sorry. That's super racist to even say that. You don't know her citizenship status. You don't know if she is actually Hispanic even. She could have just used a nice filter. But when you fight fire with fire, you're not gonna get too far. Two wrongs don't make a right. But I don't know. There's a blatant hate on both sides. There are some things that conservatives say that are massively fucked up, and then there are things that liberals say, like clots and prayers instead of thoughts and prayers. It's like you're wishing death on somebody. It's so weird. It's such an odd look. It's not good. It's not a good look. I'll be the first one to say it too. I would never wish death on somebody. Some people think that's all right though. So, whatever. I'm not gonna besmirch a person just because of their views on. But it's like, if you're that petty and you're gonna wish death on someone because they don't agree with you, you need to take a good long look in the mirror and realize that you're probably a fucking asshole. So, I just, yeah. Part of me thinks that TikTok is like a Chinese propaganda machine, though, for sure, because they've figured out how to get us to do the wildest things on any app. TikTok primarily. People have like secret accounts and shit, or they just act so weird. It's like you would never act like that in public. It's like, oh, it's expression of true self. It's like, yeah, I don't think so. I think it's people doing whatever they want for attention. It's attention-seeking behavior. It's not really um, showing your true self or expression of true self. I don't think anyone is true like that. Who knows? But yeah, I'm not excited for this weather coming tonight. I'm actually kind of freaked out. It looks pretty still right now outside, from what I can see from the trees. And I hope there's really no tornado tonight. That'd be fucking crazy because I would sleep right through it, and my family would probably get scattered out across the city, town, whatever. Oh, what else? What else? This is probably gonna be a shorter episode. I'm starting to lose my fire a little bit here. Covered some good stuff so far. Oh, we got a cat. I was never a cat person. Um, she's all right though. She's pretty great. She's like my little buddy. And my wife got this cat. Like, oh, this is, she said this is her cat. I'm like, that's totally fine with me. But this cat's literally sitting 3 feet away from me right now, waiting for me to be done. And I think it's a little weird to be like, oh, I'm a male and I own a cat. Like, it's probably just a weird stigma that's been put on it. It's kind of like McDonald's. If you enjoy McDonald's, this is a social stigma that my stutter is so bad right now. If you enjoy McDonald's, there's some sort of a social stigma set on you. Like you're supposed to feel ashamed of the things that you put in your body that are from there. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm tired of feeling ashamed of eating McDonald's. I love it. It's so good. It's so good, and it's really not that good. Sometimes it just hits so hard, though. But yeah, we got a cat. I never thought I'd be a cat person. I was so averse to having cats. I've lived with cats before. I didn't enjoy it. I lived with male cats and female cats, but I prefer females over males. She's all right. She's pretty great. She sleeps by us. I didn't think cats. I just thought cats were like inherently like evil creatures, and I think it's the pupils had a lot to do with it. I wasn't a big fan, but she's really awesome. I like her a lot. She's cool. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that. I had a really good point I was gonna make, and I just missed it. Where were we? So we covered Epstein. We covered all that shit. We covered the tornado that's gonna be coming tonight. The TikTok bullshit where I just think that, and this is just me talking to you as a human being. Fuck left, fuck right. Who cares about that? I'm talking to you as a human being. I'm going to say this right now. Live your life and do what you want. Do what you think is right. And fuck what everybody else says. Who cares what everybody else says? It doesn't matter what anyone says about how you live your life that you were given. Live your life. And I know it's weird for me to say that because I'm a married man, but I do live my life. What brings me joy is giving joy to my kids and my wife. That makes me happy. It makes me happy to be able to pay the bills and provide for my family. That makes me happy. It makes me feel like I have some sort of purpose that I was granted, by my creator. That's what I'm interested in. I mean, I came from fucking nothing. I came from, well, I shouldn't say nothing. I came from a divorced household questioning whether or not my father was going to come home for like 10 years. And then one day I just stopped asking. And I think in a way, I never stopped caring. I held a lot of resentments. I don't anymore. But I understand that a lot of my behavior when I was using, like I just dove headfirst into drugs. I dove headfirst. And I wouldn't change it for anything. But I don't know. And again, I'm not blaming my parents splitting up for my drug addiction. That was all me. That I made that choice, and boy did I have quite the ride. It was fun. And I'm not condoning, I'm not saying go do drugs. Don't do drugs. They're not good for you. But I do miss it sometimes. I really do. But I think it's just like this addict thinking, and I know that you can rewire your brain, and I'm pretty sure that I have over the last 6 years. But I think that when you're in addiction, you're not doing it because it's fun anymore. You're doing it because it's an escape from what you're living. And I wanted to escape. I wanted to escape that dumb little kid that was like asking where his dad was all the time. Because I knew he was never coming back. And it was tough. It was tough because I was like, why doesn't he want me? But he turned over a new leaf. My mom remarried another guy, and he's great. He's my dad. Like, he is my fucking dad, and I love him to death. He taught me everything I know about work, just to be a man. And yeah, I think he was the most concerned for me when I started to get involved in that other lifestyle where I was doing things that weren't necessarily good for me. And this isn't a preaching thing like, oh, I turned my life around, so can you? But the thing is, you can turn your life around. Anyone can do it. You may need some help. I needed help. I couldn't do it by myself. I probably wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't be doing this. I wish I had started my podcast when I was using, though. I would have probably had more than 31 episodes, but who knows how many times I would have changed the topics or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I came from, and now I'm here. I have a family of my own. I'm actually happy. I feel proud. I don't feel proud. I feel like I'm on my way. I'm doing it. I'm doing what I was destined to do. I'm living out my fate, and it'll be great. Life is so good. It's so good. And even when it's not good, it's good. Life's good, but it's not great. And when it is great, that's even better. I think yeah. Just keep your head up, guys. Keep your heads up. Fuck what everyone else says about you. Life sucks. Suck harder. You know? Anyways, there was a point I was going to make, but I lost it completely. It was a while ago. And I don't think it's as important as it was. Let's talk about it. No. Okay, let's talk about it. So, there's a new ad. We're going to close the show with this one. There's a new ad out for American Eagle. I'm sure you haven't heard that name in forever. I haven't shopped there in like 15 years because fuck that place, right? They make some solid jeans, but I'm not interested in wearing polos. So, Sydney Sweeney is the new. She modeled for them recently, like this week. I'm pretty sure she's wearing jeans and a jean jacket, and the whole Canadian tuxedo thing. Pardon me, Canadian listeners. It's just a joke. I think. So if you look at her ad now, and then you look at the ad from 2019, it's a bigger girl. It's more of a, I wouldn't say it's more of a diverse image. It's more of an inclusive image. Um, I'm not going to say the woman, she's not ugly. She's good looking, but, um, models have to look that way. I think that they got a little too carried away in 2019, and then they brought it over. And the people on the right are saying, oh, this is the end of wokeness for American Eagle. It's like, I don't think American Eagle ever really went woke. I think they were just trying to make clothes for people. I think 2019 was probably a smart move because they showed that they carry a variety of sizes and anyone can wear it. And I think it has to be somewhat aesthetically like pleasing to see a picture of a model and she's wearing a good, he or she are wearing good clothing. Abercrombie and Fitch always weirded me out because it's all these shirtless dudes and they all have abs, and it's like, okay, you're a fag, But I think more importantly, so people on the right are saying, oh, this is the end of wokeness. This is the end of the tunnel for us. And then people on the left are saying it's insensitive to put her on the cover because, and they're actually saying that Sydney Sweeney's ugly, and they're saying that it looks like she has Down syndrome, and it's like, holy shit, like, you guys have no boundaries whatsoever. There's no boundaries. Thing is, I think they think like that's justifying like how conservatives acted during the whole Bud Light thing with Dylan Mulvaney by us saying that he's a man. I don't care if you did 1,000 days of girlhood. Fuck off with that shit. You're not a woman. You never will be. You never will be. But they're doing, again, resorting to personal attacks about appearances. And it's like, okay. Like, what a sad and lonely life that you live where you think that Sydney Sweeney is going to see your comment and she's going to break down crying. She doesn't give a flying Frenchman's ass. That's not the way it's supposed to be said, but I didn't want to drop another F-bomb. She doesn't care. Celebrities don't even know you exist. They don't even know I exist. They don't even know you influencers exist. They don't care what you say about them. Oh, no, it wasn't Down. I'm sorry. It wasn't Down syndrome. It was fetal alcohol syndrome they said that she had. She looked like she had fetal alcohol syndrome. It's like, okay, that's nuts. And if she does, what are you saying? You're making fun of a person with a disability? How ableist of you. God, I don't know. I don't know. I've started to just give up on it. You'll never make these people happy. They're going to be these miserable bitches this whole time, and they're just hurt, and they want to hurt other people. Hurt people hurt people. Shout out Joe Rogan. I think that things will turn around, hopefully. I doubt it. We probably have to have a nuclear war for things to turn around for the better. And then hopefully my children will move forward with our family name. If there's a nuclear war, I don't want to be around for it. But if there is, it's going to get hot real soon. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys sitting here and listening to me mentally decline. I'm starting to sound like Biden. Sitting through this shit and being supporters. I appreciate you guys so much. I think we'll try this again whenever we try this again. We'll see. I know that there's current events every single day. And we'll see what happens next, right? Thank you all. I love you all. Thank you for the support. Love yourselves. Love each other. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Have empathy. Okay? And if you don't have empathy, well, you're a piece of shit. If you stand up for what you believe in and I don't agree with it, you're a POS. No, but really, you guys, I thank you so much for hanging out. I owe you guys so much. So thank you. This has been Political Sanity, and I am your host. And this is episode 31. Thanks for hanging out, guys. See you later.